This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
Welcome to the award-winning Rich in Life podcast. We're the podcast that dives deep into the true meaning of wealth. We're going beyond money. We're going into mindset, purpose, and the choices that shape our success. In each episode, we're going to bring you inspiring stories, expert insights, and the real conversation to help you build a life that's rich in every way. So get ready to elevate your thinking, embrace new possibilities, and unlock the wealth that truly matters. So sit back, tune in, and let's learn how to be rich in life.
When was the last time you charged or asked for exactly what you knew you were worth? Not what felt safe or felt good or what you felt like would close the deal, not what you thought that they would say yes to, not a number you came up with by looking at what everyone else charges and landing somewhere in the middle to avoid standing out, but what you actually knew that you were worth. For a lot of people, this might be hard to identify because it hasn't happened yet. But today we're getting into one of the most uncomfortable conversations in personal and professional development. Pricing yourself, valuing yourself, and asking for what you deserve without the apology or the compromise that usually comes with it. Welcome to Rich in Life. I'm Danielle Rizzo, and this one, it's going to hit home. All right, let's dive into this. So let's get something straight from the beginning. If you are undercharging in your business, in your career, in how you spend your time, it is almost never because you don't know your market rate. Most people who undercharge know exactly what they should be charging. They've done the research. They know what the going rate is. They've seen other people charge it, but they charge less anyway because they have a belief problem. Research from the Harvard Business Review found that women, and this extends to many people regardless of gender who are early in their career, consistently underestimate the market value, not because they lack information, but because they underestimate their own contributions relative to peers. And here's the mechanism, right? Undercharging feels like humility. It feels like being reasonable. It feels like not being greedy or arrogant or too much. But what it's actually doing is it's protection. You set the number low so that if they say no, it hurts less. Because at the higher number, a rejection actually starts to feel personal. How much of that hit home for any of you? And that really is the issue here. You are pricing yourself at the level where rejection is survivable, not at the level where you're fully valued, right? So let's talk about over delivery because that is where a lot of high performers live. And it's directly connected to undercharging. Over delivery is when you consistently give significantly more than what was agreed upon or paid for. You're going above and beyond because it feels generous. It feels like excellent service. It feels like integrity. But I want to challenge that framing. For some people, over delivery is genuinely generosity, right? We're just doing it just to do it. But for many, and I want you to sit with this one, it's a transaction, but an unconscious transaction. And the logic, it goes like this, right? I don't fully believe I'm worth what I'm charging, so I'll give extra to justify the price. I'll earn it retroactively. I'll make sure they can't possibly feel like they overpaid. Any of y'all doing that? Here is the problem with that. You are now financing your own self-doubt. You're compensating for a confidence gap with extra labor. And the client doesn't even know it's happening. They just come to expect that level of output at that price point. So you're setting yourself up for failure. Because when you try to raise your rate, they're confused because they never experienced you at the rate that reflected your actual value. You trained them with your own insecurity. That's really a hard thing to hear, y'all, but it's something you can change. And that's what we're going to do. Your price or your ask, whatever form that takes in your life and your business and your company and your work, it's a statement of belief. It tells people what you think you're worth. And human beings are remarkably good at detecting when someone doesn't believe their own number. You've probably experienced this from the other side, right? You've talked to someone who quoted you a price and then immediately started justifying it, over-explaining it, apologizing for it. How did that make you feel, right? Being on the other side of that, probably not confident in their value, probably not confident in even their work, maybe. Contrast that with someone who stated their rate simply, without apologizing, and moved on. This is how much it is. Take it or leave it. Somehow that lands a little bit differently, right? The confidence, it's not arrogance, it's congruence. It's someone whose outer number matches their inner belief. So before you change your rate, you need to change your internal conversation, actually. And that starts with identifying the specific belief that's keeping the number low. So here are some common ones for that, right? People won't pay that. This is often untrue and usually untested, right? Who's telling you people won't pay that? You are. I'm not experienced enough yet. You're waiting for a permission slip that isn't coming. No one's going to be like, all of a sudden, hey, you are experienced enough. I don't want to seem greedy. Knowing your value is not greedy. It's respect. It's self-respect. And then what if they say no? They might. That's information, not a verdict on your worth. You can't control what other people are going to agree to. So which one of those is yours? So here comes the exercise, right? Here's a 3-part exercise that I want you to do before you set another rate, ask for another raise, or agree to another project, right? Here we go. Without looking at what anyone else charges, I want you to write your real number. Don't worry about what they'll say. Write down the number that feels true to you. The rate or salary or that ask, if someone said yes to immediately, you would feel good about. Not shocked about. Write down that number. Okay? Now make a list and be thorough because we're going to write down your evidence of everything that justifies that number. Your experience, your results, the problems you've solved, the transformations you've created, the hours you've put in, the expertise that you have built. Write it all down like you're building a case for someone else because you are. You're building it for yourself. You're building your case for yourself of your experience that no one can take away from you. And that all has value. Now you got to practice that conversation, right? You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because it's uncomfortable for you to say the number out loud because you don't have the confidence. So I want you to say your number out loud right now, wherever you are. Say it like you mean it. My rate is this. Not my rate is usually this, or my rate or is around this, or my rate is somewhere between X and Y. Just say the number. Notice how your body responds. Notice the urge to add qualifiers. That urge is what we're trying to train you out of. That's why you have to say it out loud. You have to keep repeating it. Repetition, repetition, repetition. It's the key to so many things. Do that 3 times this week out loud to yourself before you say the number to anyone else, because you need to believe it before they will. Because I promise you, if you don't believe it, they will feel it. Undercharging doesn't just cost you money, it costs you your energy. When you are chronically undervalued, even by your own hand, resentment builds. Promise you that it will. You start to notice the gap between what you give and what you receive. You work harder to compensate, which is going to lead to burnout faster. You attract clients or employees or situations that treat your time as abundant and cheap because you told them that it was. Charging what you're worth isn't just a financial decision. It's actually a statement about what you believe your time, your energy, and your expertise are worth in the world. And the world takes its cues from you. If you've been playing at a discount long enough, I want you to know that it's time to charge full price.